Hello, everyone, and welcome back to SCS Season 4. We have, it's been a long road, Connor, but we're in our final week. We only have 2 more games to go before playoffs.
Yeah, and both of these games are insanely impactful, and I can't underestimate exactly how much the entire standings can shake up with the result of both of these games. You have the number 1 seed playing the 3 seed. That's today. That's Down to Earth versus Wichita Wolves. Guaranteed barn burner status here. And then tomorrow, we have Pride versus Team 99, and they're in the number 2 seed. So, depending on how things land up, they could drop. We could see Down to Earth overtake them. Wichita Wolves fall all the way back. All 3 of these spots are up for contention, and it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how everything lands when the dust settles down.
Yeah, like you said, D2E versus Wichita Wolves today is a very important match, and the implications of this match actually extend beyond playoffs. So as you guys know, qualifiers are coming up for Season 5 in about a month, I believe. If you make it into semifinals, you are guaranteed a closed qualifier seed. So you passed the open qual spot, you don't have as much to go before you qualify for the league. If you're top 2, if you make it to the grand final, you're in the league. You're in next season. So being in that first or second spot for playoffs guarantees you at least closed qual, and it's one less match you have to play before getting to the grand final and confirming your spot for Season 5. So it's not just playoffs that are possibly on the line here. D2 and Wichita Wolves, they would obviously like to have an auto spot in the next season. As you can see by our predictions, a lot of people, including myself and Connor, we got faith in D2E. Wichita Wolves, after losing Iski, have not been as dominant. I don't know if there are other factors to that, but, compounded by the fact that they lost to a collegiate team. Not looking great. Meanwhile, D2E have not suffered a loss in... When was the last time they lost a map? I feel like it's been a few weeks.
Yeah, it has definitely been a while. I'm going to bite my tongue on the collegiate comment because, that's where I came from. I'm gonna bite my tongue on it. I know that's why you said it. But we already alluded to it briefly before, but this is our standings. Those dark green, this 1 and 2 seed, those are the most impactful. That's your first round bye, a guaranteed ticket all the way to the semifinals, where if you just win a single match, then you get to come into SCS Season 5 with all the beautiful things that have been teased by our main production man, Ferme himself. It's definitely going to be a league that you want to be a part of. But we can't get too far ahead of ourselves, especially on the side of Wichita Wolves, who, despite being in the number 1 seed, like you mentioned, have been on a little bit of a downhill slump. They've struggled trying to find a consistent 5-man roster, and at the end of the day, that has been hurting them. Down to Earth, this was the former In Control roster. They've been together for quite a while. They competed in RSA. They've been here. They've been doing pretty well, all things considered, and now they have a chance to finally overtake everybody and prove to all the haters, all the doubters, that they can compete with the rest of the boys.
Yeah, and of course, like you said, if D2E are able to take all 6 points, they'll be tied for points with Wichita Wolves, but because they'll have the round differential and the head-to-head, they take first place. Now, of course, Team 99 have yet to play, and if Team 99 win their maps against Pride, they could easily take first place, and it'll be Team 99 D2E Wichita Wolves, but, we'll wait for that. We'll wait till tomorrow. As you can see, the rosters of each of these teams: Bone, Devozo, Yusuke, Exile, and Kojin for D2E. Wichita Wolves with Anarchy, Faded, Devil, Tyrant, and their replacement for Iski, Skins, who, at least for me, is a pretty unknown quantity.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that you can make a name for yourself, and this would be quite a game to do so. So a lot of eyes are going to be turned towards him. But on the flip side of that, you have Bone and Anarchy. Those are the 2 titans for each of these teams. Wichita Wolves with Anarchy, Down to Earth with Bones. All eyes are going to be trained upon those players, seeing who's going to be able to just be superior. Overall, both of these teams, as evident by the numbers, they're all great players. They understand comp at a high level. They play very well-structured Siege, almost to like the T2.5 level. You don't necessarily want to call them T3 teams because they're definitely at the top of this tier. If everybody was 18, you would think maybe they might be able to take the next step up. And that personally is why I'm really excited.
Well, Wichita Wolves is above 18, and they haven't called yet. But
Hey, Anarchy just turned 18. This is his first
that is
window.
true.
This is his first window.
Yeah, I'm talking about the old Wichita Wolves roster. But like you said, skins. Like I hate to harp on the guy because I'm sure he's already feeling enough pressure as the replacement. But as you can see from his roles, he's the Ash Jaeger. He's the entry, and he has to replace Iski, who was a dominant force. He was a game-changing force for Wichita Wolves. So we'll see how he does on our map picks. Theme Park and Cafe. Cafe, obviously being a comfort pick for D2E. Fun fact, D2E actually beat Aerial Arise on this map, so it is something for them to be feared. But Theme Park is definitely an interesting one, and one that D2E has lost to PogChamp twice.
Yeah, and it's also, I believe, DOWN2EARTH beat Wichita Oblivion on Cafe as well, and that was their self-proclaimed only map in the map pool. And I mean, beating a team on their only map in the map pool, especially as strong of a roster as Wichita Oblivion, who will be going on to higher leagues and we're in CCS and other very high caliber competitions. That's definitely a feather in the cap of DOWN2EARTH, and hopefully that's going to propel them into a strong map too. But map 1 is definitely what's going to be interesting. I personally have not seen Wichita Wolves on Theme Park, so maybe they've been chefing some things up in the lab. They've been really just waiting for the right time to pull out Theme Park. But DOWN2EARTH's Theme Park, despite the results, is not weak by any stretch of the imagination. If you look at them from a statistical standpoint of, okay, they've lost Theme Park like the last 3 times they've played it. All 3 times that they have last played Theme Park were against PogChamp.
Yeah, and it was, oh no, I think it was twice. 2 times. First one against PogChamp was, PogChamp beat him like, it was like 7-2 or something. Second time, it was a hell of a lot closer. I think it was 7-5?
7-4, 7-5. It was a lot
Something
closer.
like that. But, so D2E, though they don't have the best record on Theme Park, they are confident in it because they're the ones that brought PogChamp to it twice. So them leaving it up against Wichita Wolves, obviously D2E still are comfortable. They like to think of themselves as having a pretty wide range in the map pool. Wichita Wolves picking Theme Park is a bit of a dark horse because I know they're a team that plays a lot of, they play a lot of Consulate, play a lot of Clubhouse, Oregon, the standard stuff. So, I don't know. I feel like to me, just looking at this, D2E Cafe. I don't know if Wichita Wolves, that could change once we actually get to the map, but preliminary, I think D2E is a shoo-in for Cafe. So Wichita Wolves needs to win Theme Park because otherwise D2E could take away that first place spot.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, and I think a lot of things are going to come down to how is Theme Park going to be played, because not only has the map sort of been not played that often, it's almost a rarity in the competitive map pool, but it's also been a rarity since Neon Dawn. So I'm interested to see exactly how the new meta, the lack of the utility meta that we saw, the 20-second burn everything that you require in order to push in. That's why a lot of people didn't like Theme Park, and since that isn't really as evident and brought forward constantly on every single room of every single bomb site on a map such as Theme Park, which in a similar vein of Clubhouse, every room is insanely impactful, I think overall this could be a really, really interesting matchup.
Especially with Thatcher and Maverick both gone. That's gonna be cool. Let's see how they. I mean, at this point, you should abandon all hope in trying to open the maintenance or the barrels wall, unless you got something up your sleeve. Unless you're good with your nades, maybe have a Kali, and they're not bringing a Cade. Cade's not banned. Okay. Cade will be run likely every round because with no Maverick Thatcher, he's a lot tougher to try and get rid of. And you can see Kali is already going to be taken up by Faded. So, or maybe 6-pick too, because that's really your only form of utility denial. Okay, it's actually going to be Anarchy on that. Throne Armory, obviously going to be the first site. It's typically that or Bunk that people like to start out on. Armory Throne being kind of the original site for Theme Park, the one that everyone wanted to go through too. It was pretty much, before people figured it out, it was go here, take a free win, and leave. Exile switching on to the Maestro. This is a pretty standard lineup, with the exception of the Ella and the Alibi, who I guarantee Bone and Navozo are probably just playing for the shields.
Yeah, maybe I spoke a little bit too soon with the change in the meta from deployable shields. They will be a lot easier to take out because essentially Yusuke can only block 3 projectiles if it's a coordinated strike on the side of Wichita Wolves' attack. but actually they're making a rotate hold. They're going to be extending into maintenance and gong, is what it seems like, and dragon.
Huh.
Huh. Maybe we talked about Wichita Wolves whipping out some strats and being in the lab for theme park. Maybe Down to Earth was in the lab just as much, because this isn't something that I've particularly seen.
So, the only concern I have right now about different is that with no really, utility denial on the patch, no Thatcher, no Maverick, no whatever, a lot more stake is going to be put in your position. Because at that point, there's a lot less happening on itself. If B2 can't put the top floor, this entire extension falls apart because the entirety of maintenance is openable. Everything like that. Now, it is a little bit odd that Wichita Wolves aren't bringing a classical soft destruction, no sledge, no buck, and the one they have breaches on is actually Nirvana. Either way, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting, as well as Tyrant's going to be starting off the information gathering via his drone and just start swinging in, pre-firing away. Top floor, like you mentioned, is insanely impactful, and the first obstacle is going to be both Bone and Kojin on the top of this dragon staircase. One nitro cell in hand and another fast-firing weapon in the form of the Scorpion Evo, just trying to shut down any pressure from the windows. And it's actually going to be the Habana falling at the hands of Kojin. A well-arced C4 will drop off the only hard breacher. Never mind, Devil does exist. Ace also has those Selmas, but hatches would be a very, very big use of utility on the side of most of his kit on the Ace, as opposed to just one set of X-Kairos on the form of Faded. Now, with Tyrant at the top of the staircase, the down-to-earth defenders that were once locking up this location are long gone. They're starting to peel back and fall away into sight, as any good roam extension does. Now, for Wichita Wolves, they feel very uncomfortable. They don't know if there's flanks coming. They don't know exactly what they're going in towards. And sure, they got that map control for relatively free, but it's costing a whole lot of time.
I also just noticed Tyrant is actually running the LMG on Zoph for whatever reason. But I mean, Wichita Wolves, sure, they have control of the top floor. I mean, that's all well and good, but you've lost one of your hard breachers. Probably what a lot of people would slightly more flexible one. We still got no bandits are just down. Doesn't look like the Maestro is in any position to impact Trick either, so they'll forfeit the barrels wall, as Wichita Wolves still have a couple players on the top floor. Strangely enough, Anarchy not actually using his breaching charges. I think, just flank watching up there. Not quite sure. But otherwise, there's only 25 seconds left, and D2E know that Wichita Wolves, they're all going to be coming from the western side of the map. Devil is going to take a lot of damage, as Tyrant as well as Skins both go down. Devil on the floor as well, and Anarchy trying to rush split has nowhere to go. Down flawlessly, in fact, as that extension actually works wonders.
Yeah, it was just a really interesting extension that I don't think Wichita Wolves were ready for. Having that initial pressure of not just one but two players on Dragon Stairs, which is an area that can be pinched from maintenance, as well as just you can frag grenade it, you can drop the control hatch, or just walk inside of cache from the other door that you can't really get an angle on, especially because that double wall was reinforced. That position should have been under a lot of contention, but it seemed like Wichita Wolves were a little bit too hesitant to try to push in. And when you just have your Habana sitting there twiddling her thumbs, passively holding an angle on a window, that Nitro lineup was easy. He just tossed it straight outside and picked up a free kill, and everybody just fell back to sight. And the strength of Throne and Armory is all of the crossfires that you can establish, especially once you're just sitting and anchoring. They still had 5 people left alive, and there's only 2 ways into the site, both being doorways that you can just hold across, and there's absolutely nothing the attackers could do.
Yeah, that was excellently done. I mean, even then, they had top floor control. No soft breach means they can't actually take that guy out of maintenance. The Alibi was happy to just sit there and wait. And they all pushed from west. That is so easy to watch. You have like 4 people in sight. What are they going to do? So Down to Earth, very well done. Now they'll go into Lab, another site that relies a lot upon your extension into Throne Armory. Project Neo is a team who famously, I don't think anyone has ever really beaten their Throne Armory extension. Esteem, well, when he played with the team, was an absolute demon on the mute over there. JJ on Legion as well. They provided excellent cover. I mean, you see how D2E play it. If they play it similarly, you usually got a player behind the throne, one kind of hovering over towards Split and Armory, someone controlling where the bathroom hallway is. And the longer you can stall out these attackers on this horizontal hold, then the less time they're going to have to push the site. Because I mean, with the lines in the wall you have into lab, they're forced to clear into throne.
Yeah, because the strength of Drug as a site is that you can play it entirely from outside the bomb site if you open up those headshot strips that we saw opened up by Down2EARTH. But the flip side of that is you have to have a lot of map control, and holding that for a long period of time is something a lot easier said than done, a lot better on paper as opposed to in practice. But for Down2EARTH, they have a couple players upstairs, and that's where the drones are coming from. They understand that they have to clear everywhere for Wichita Wolves. Or Yusuke, he knows that he doesn't have to play his life fully. They still have a horizontal roam employed. He can just drop back down. Wichita Wolves so far are none the wiser. They're still going to have to drone out every single one of those nooks and crannies to make sure that there's not a Jaeger there to surprise them. And it's just slowing them down time and time again. That's been the entire design of Down2EARTH's defense. Show face and then fade away into the distance.
No sludge or buck means I guess Anarchy is going to do his best with the Kali to make those holes. He's going to try and knock the utility off of the maintenance wall. I mean, strangely hasn't been a kite yet, so it's just a mute jammer. It's easy for Devil to open up. You've also got a player over by the doorway pressuring down, though Tyrant will miss some important shots, but down goes Exile. The LMG, you know, it really doesn't matter how many shots you hit if your opponent doesn't hit them either. The LMG magazine working wonders for Tyrant. So one of those players inside of that throne extension goes down. That is a huge pick for Wichita Wolves, though look at the time. 50 seconds left, and all you have to speak for is a roamer. Odd positioning there for the Melusi, right by the soda machine, but it works out. His skins doesn't expect it. Kojin taking a lot of damage, but he can sit tight back behind the boiler. Tyrant, he's got the LMG. He's trying to spray in, but Wichita Wolves are just wasting more and more time as these crossfires through the wall are working wonders for the anchors. Bone with a second kill on the round takes down the LMG players. Anarchy will try and move in from over towards Split, but yet again, all three attackers moving in from the exact same side of the building. The defense can just turn their guns in the same direction, and it's a triple kill for Bone. Yusuke tacks on for his own, denying the ace, but it's just Anarchy. He'll shut down Kojin, but fall to Bone. A 4K for the anchoring Melusi as Down2EARTH take another round.
I mean, there's not much you can do when Bone just goes on an absolute heater like that. Really well played by the Melusi to not only have that utility to slow down the movement of the Wichita Wolves to a crawl, but also the gun to deliver the punishment onto every single player that popped up inside his crosshairs. Once again, time has just been a thorn in the side of Wichita Wolves. They've at least got an opening pick this time, which was a step in the right direction. Exile fell pretty early, being a touch over aggressive inside his throne extension. Losing the Maestro for a brief moment, in my mind, it didn't seem like it was gonna be a good thing. I mean, naturally, losing a player is not gonna be good, but then you lose your Maestro, and it's like, that cam intel is definitely really good as the time continues to wind down in the backside of the rounds, as well as the Alda. That's just an insanely great weapon that once the clock hits about 5 or 6 seconds, you can just hold mouse one at a doorway and nobody can go in. And that's essentially what Wichita Wolves have had to do the past 2 rounds, is just flood into doorways as the clock strikes midnight.
So just noticed people in chat. Hopefully I'm not underwater anymore. So it turns out we're using vMix. Sometimes
it's the caster 2 slot. That's what it was for me last week.
Yeah, sometimes vMix just does that. And turned out whenever Ferme sent me game sound through vMix, it would kill itself. So I'm using an RTMP right now separately from vMix. So hopefully it's not a problem anymore.
Hopefully. That's what was happening to me last week. It's just something that's not in your control at all. It's not your internet or anything. It's
yeah,
just
when it happens,
rough.
it's literally it's the vMix client, and the connection to vMix just tells me to go fuck myself, and then there's really nothing I can do except try and switch links and screw around. I mean, even Devin Crater Hoot, the final boss of production, said, yeah, you can't really fix it. But curiously enough for Down to Earth, they're not going to go bunk for their third site. They're going to go office. Bunk is typically considered the secondary, if not primary, one of the strongest sites on the map, bar none. So it's interesting that they're avoiding it for now. Maybe, you know, next go around in the site rotation, they'll go there instead of maybe lab, because lab is kind of considered to be the fourth site. But either way, they're holding initiation office pretty default. They got a bit of an extension over on the bunk side of things. It's just Bone and Exile, one in bunk, one over by Soda. And Wichita Wolves are doing their default clear over by Control and Cash. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but Devil should be able to still get the wall opened after a little bit of shenanigans throwing those Selmas through. I think a Cali Charge took out the first one, but he's got 3 in his pocket. S2 will be allocated towards the main breach that I assume Wichita Wolves are going to be putting pressure on, towards the bomb site. For Tyrant, he's pushing over towards the cash corridor, just wanting to push up over to Coffee Machine. Skins has made his way inside a bathroom, is trying to cut any rotations across the bomb sites, making it very difficult for anybody to play in. But as Devil falls to exile, that's a well-placed shot coming out of the MPX. That's a step in the right direction for the down-to-earth defense. They're continuing to hold the site from not the site. They have made the bomb kind of a play from outside experience. Once again, Tyrant pickups one, but it's a refrag from Navozo as the SMG-11 will yield another kill.
So not only is your LMG dead, but Devil losing those smokes on such a smoke plant-centric map like Theme is unfortunate. Navozo gets another one unfaded before Anarchy pulls out the SMG and trades him out, but there's Yusuke with skins. It's just Anarchy. SP SMG-9 in hand. He'll whiff the shots and be unable to switch in time as Bone comes in for the cleanup. Down to Earth will take 3 straight rounds. It is a perfect site rotation on Theme Park.
Yeah, and done in a very dominant fashion nonetheless. Only a couple of kills going each way in each rounds. If we flash the scoreboard real quick, I think we can see that not only the scoreline looks dominant, but the scorelines for the players will in turn show as well. I'm just going to continue floundering because I don't know if yes,
I believe
he is
Wichita
on a
Wolves have a
slight
total
delay.
of 4 kills.
Yep, 4 kills. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. And Bone has more kills than the entire Wichita Wolves roster combined.
Yep, because they started out with a flawless round, had 4 players alive, no, 3 players alive on lab and 3 players alive on office.
Yep.
So it ain't looking too good for Wichita Wolves right now. They're not out of it just yet. You know, they've still got time. 4-2 half, even 5-1 halves are not completely out of the realm of possibility. 5-1 halves are actually a lot more common on Theme Park than I think most maps in the pool. So, you know, it's not without reason that D2E might get the next 2 rounds before Wichita Wolves finally is able to clamber one on. But the momentum right now is firmly in Down to Earth's grasp. We're going to try Throne again, where they did that interesting extension, which they'll be playing for. Now, if I'm Wichita Wolves, I maybe would have taken a soft breacher, just because once you clear that up top, again, if you have control of Dragon, you could just break the floor, and down goes that maintenance pressure. But they're not really playing for that. Last time, their upstairs hold sure, or their upstairs clear, sure, it worked, but it took them 2 minutes, and by then they said, screw it, we just gotta push barrels.
Yeah, and they just funneled into a doorway, and especially because Faded fell at the hands of that beautiful Nitro toss from, I believe it was Kojin, correct? He was playing the Bandit last time as well.
The Nitro, yes, it was Kojin onto Faded.
Yes. So, at least for the side of Tyrant, he seems to be taking map control into his own hands, wanting to really speed up the clock of the Wichita Wolves attack. Please. If Kojin had gotten a free hard breacher again, I think Wichita Wolves would have felt pretty upset. And now look, Wichita Wolves are doing what they should have done. They're doing what they should have done last time. They pinched the player sitting in a very exposed and advanced position and made him fall off. And look, there's only been a minute and they have top floor control.
Alright, so much quicker, but it will still come at the price of a player. It's not a hard breacher at least, but you've still lost Skins, who unfortunately right now on the entry, he's been playing Ash Twitch, has not found a kill yet. Not a good look for the rookie for Wichita Wolves, but they will start using their soft destruction, so that'll cause Navozo to make his way out of maintenance, kind of be over towards Gong and look to fall back through the hallway. But Wichita Wolves so far, you know, they've lost a body similarly to last time. It's not as important of a body, and they've made better time. So this is all in all a slightly better attack. It's a little bit of a better prospect. They'll use an ace charge on the floor and won't find anything. That was definitely interesting from Devil. Although, I just noticed Faded is also dead.
He died to a nitro cell.
That's why I didn't see it. All right.
Yep.
And Devil only has one ace charge. So that's not great.
No. Seems like history is repeating itself on this bomb site, as a flawless round is still in the cards for Down to Earth. If they just hold their crossfires effectively, there's no pressure inside of sight, no breaching, no nothing for the side of Wichita Wolves. And Navozo, still playing inside of Gong, is in one of those positions that can flank nearly any avenue of entry that Wichita Wolves wants to go through. Tyrant seems to have an inkling that there's somebody over in this area, but Yusuke drops down Devil on the other side as Anaker SMTM9 in his hand is trying to get a kill, but Yusuke going down but not out. Can't quite get it done either is the side of Kojin, who will fall at the hands of Anarchy. Now it's a 2v3 situation. It's not looking too bad, but they do have to get inside the site. It's just one of those things that there's so many angles being watched. Anarchy can't do anything. Exile will pick him up, and it's Exile picking up a second as well. Another well-placed headshot onto the dome of Tyrant will take the lead of 4-0.
So that was a little bit of a better clear of the up top. They did lose 2 bodies for it, though, again, like they did last time. But the main difference was that they were able to clear the maintenance roamer and use that vertical destruction from above. The big drawback is that despite being able to use the vertical destruction from above, they didn't really do anything. Even when they breached above the maintenance corridor, who was it? It was Navozo was the alibi. Kind of started skirting towards Gong, but then once he heard that the attackers are dropping down, he just rotated back in. Now, sure, 2 of your players died and Yusuke was downed, but at that point, it was so late in the round that D2E knew Wichita Wolves both, again, had to push from the exact same direction. Now, you know, it wasn't barrel split, it was Dragon Maintenance, but it's the same tiny-ass hole in a wall in a single doorway. They all turned their guns in the same direction, and Exile found both. Wichita Wolves so far not having a good go of things on Theme Park. I mean, that was their closest round so far, but there were still 3 people alive for D2E.
Yeah, I mean, Yusuke was a bullet away from death because he was revived from his earlier engagements where he got knocked straight on his butt, but refrags will still go into the favor of the Down to Earth defenders because they knew exactly where Wichita Wolves had to come in through. It was a doorway or a rotate hole that you knew Anarchy was going to be crouching from. That's an easy pre-fire from Exiles. He also picked up a second, just another blind pre-fire of an idea that there's 3 seconds left on the clock. Let's just shoot at the doorway because he's probably going to be sprinting through. Really well played once again, but that's just time and time again has been Wichita Wolves not having enough time. That is the hardest thing about theme park attacks, is how spread out the map is, and it feels like every single room is entering a dangerous position. And with how Down to Earth is extending to nearly every room, that has been exactly the case. But there was a glimmer of hope last round with Wichita Wolves on how fast their top floor clear was, but then they just stalled out, and it was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, we'll see if Tyrant swapping off of the Zophia's LMG. He hasn't really done a lot with the Zophia's utility, I feel like. Now he's on Lion, really trying to lock down D2E, because when D2E plays these extensions, what does that rely a lot on? Your teammates coming in to help, and your rotatability. Lion kind of takes a little bit of that away, but Yusuke, he'll finally get droned out. I thought he was about to get misdroned, but he'll run right into the waiting arms of the Lion, but what a reaction! Tyrant goes down, and only 1 EE1D expended. The adaptation that Wichita Wolves made and were relying upon to lock down these roamers ended up falling to the roamer, and now we're in a 5v4.
Yeah, Yusuke still has a lot of HP, but Skins has essentially none as he goes down to the Nitro Cell down below. Once again, the utility usage from Down to Earth has been on point. That's pretty much the 3rd Nitro Cell kill, showing that they definitely know the map like the back of their hand. And maybe Wichita Wolves made a grave error by taking them to this battlefield. But for the side of Wichita Wolves, it's still not over. you know, you have to get inside a site, and Drug is one of those bomb sites that can just fall apart at a moment's notice. Taking out Bone is a good step going forward, as Faded is going to start challenging the extension of Exile inside of Throne. He only has 1 death. He was named with 6 kills. Make that 7, as he will... Actually, never mind. Didn't quite get the kill on Defeated, but now he will. I saw the flash on the left side, but that was Novozo on the other side of the map going into the DB&O state. Now essentially making it a 3v3. But Exile getting another kill. That's the power of the Alda. You can't refrag a Maestro because he's never going to run out of bullets.
That's unfortunate for Devil. Decided to take out the Signal Jammer. Or no, it was the ADS instead of aiming at the player. So not only did D2E's upstairs floor or upstairs roam work, but their extension into Throne worked as well. Skins, barely any HP, has to try and wade his way through a gas canisters. Anarchy is still upstairs? Where was he? No, was he at the window?
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to jump in the... Ooh.
Yeah. There were 2 SMG-11s watching that angle. Even if he killed one, there was no way he was getting away. So, you know, Wichita Wolves, they started to get better. You know, we had a flawless, and then, you know, they had 2 kills around, average 2, 3, and 4, and then only got 1 in that round. Their entry fell flat. Their throne clear fell flat, and then their side push fell flat.
Yeah, and there was an attempted roam clear with a Lion, which was the adaptation of the side of Wichita Wolves to try to break down the massive off-site presence that Down2EARTH has been bringing every single round, and it was the first pick. Typically with a Lion, you're going to have the intel with your droning of confirming exactly where the Jaeger, in this case Yusuke, was playing, that he was over on the arcade bow. You go, okay, we know he's in this area, let's call, and then we're going to swing him with 2 people, having more drone intel and just understanding exactly where he is, and then pre-fires, because if Yusuke moved while the E1D was going off, then he would be hard pinged, and that's an even easier pre-fire than relying on the communication skills of your teammates. But for the side of Tyrant, he just kind of ran at the Jaeger and was just assuming that because he's Lion, he was going to magically get a perfect roam clear. The utility usage wasn't there. There wasn't enough synergy. But another piece of an adaptation on the side of Wichita Wolves is a little bit brighter on the side of the Ying. You could see a smoke plant coming through because of the secondary gadget that Devil will be bringing on the Ace, in conjunction with the Candelas throwing into sight, might be the utility change that Wichita Wolves really needs.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I was wrong. D2E will not go to bunk through this entire half. So, hard breach gadget on the Ying is definitely interesting when you've got an ace in play, but like you said, it does not take away the ability to be able to go for that Ying smoke plant. Unfortunately right now, Faded in skins, your entry player and your hard breach flex player now on the Ying have no kills. Hopefully they'll be able to try and ramp it up in the final round of the half, because if Wichita Wolves aren't able to get themselves going and wake up, we're going to be looking at a 6-0 flawless half for D2E, and as Skins takes a whole hell of a lot of damage, that's what, about 80 HP now gone? Things are looking good for D2E. It's only been a minute, or less than a minute too. Kojin will take a little bit of damage, I believe, from a frag grenade, as Devil's ace charge gets, I think, denied by an impact there from Kojin. The second one will not be denied, though, as there is actually... Did he just mute trick that?
I think he did.
Aye.
Indeed. What a wonderful play of just outbraining the Cali pick, that which the Wolves have shown every single time. They know Anarchy is going to be bringing the Indian Sniper, but it's going to be trades back and forth as Tyrant's finally able to pick up a kill onto Bone. But Yusuke drops down Faded, as he will have a not great half confirmed in. No more Candelas for that incoming execute, as now Skins will also be finished up by Exile. Both players with 0 kills will remain so for the entirety of their attacking section. But now Devil has an option to just go inside of sight. I don't quite know if Down2EARTH know that he's so close to just swinging in. There's a couple of crossfires being held here and there as Kojin and Novozo. Well, Novozo goes by. He exposed himself too much. But it's going to be the shots from inside bunk as Yusuke and Exile will pick up a kill apiece, leaving it to just Anarchy once again. Does he have enough in the tank for the 1v3 clutch? Probably not, but crazier things have happened.
I really thought Kojin was done for when we saw Novozo go down behind Shrine. I was like, oh no, Kojin, turn around! but it was because Exile had his back. Excellent trade. And now it's just Anarchy. 1 HP. Can't even land the shot onto Yusuke. Actually, no, he does. They trade. But Down to Earth. 6 rounds in a row. And, Connor, take a wild guess as to how many people were left alive for the defense at the end of that round.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 people. Throughout that entire half, Wichita Wolves did not get more than 2 kills in a single round. You know, we don't like to harp on KDs and fragging all that much, but that is an issue.
I mean, kills are the first part of cost.
Kill is also, yeah, kill is the first part of cost. Now, of course, kills aren't the end-all, be-all, which is why we don't like to harp on it. You know, a lot more comes into team play, strategy, utility usage, stuff like that. But the fact that Wichita Wolves have not had a successful entry, maybe they had one, I would say, when Tyrant killed Exile in lab, but that was still swiftly traded back by the player in Soda Machine. They have not had a definitive successful entry in 6 rounds of Theme Park. And they have not been playing well for the trades. They have not had good time management. And D2E have played around that perfectly. 6 in a row, and they are 1 away from taking not only the first map of this series, but Wichita Wolves map pick.
Yeah, and then they would go to Kafe, which we essentially said was a shoe-in map choice for Down to Earth. And this map choice almost seems like a shoe-in for Down to Earth, because a 6-0 defensive half on Theme Park where Wichita Wolves were just struggling to get absolutely anything going leads me to believe that there's a potential for the mental aspect of the game to really come into effect, where Wichita Wolves are going to be super hesitant and playing maybe a little bit too passive. Here they are going to the tertiary bomb site of Drug as their primary, understanding that they're going to have to win it eventually. Let's just go ahead and get it over, see if we can get any momentum going forward, and really start getting the ball rolling, which is something that hasn't happened at all. And for the side of Down to Earth, they have all the hot weapons in the world. They're going to be taking everything with poise and confidence. And will Wichita Wolves be able to stop it?
I also just saw a Rigel, I think it was Rigel, put up a poll on the Twitch chat. What are the odds that Wichita Wolves mount a comeback? And let me tell you, it's slim to fucking none right now with the way they're playing. Faded and Skins still on 0 kills after an entire half. The closest thing to positive they have is Tyrant going 4 and 6. Exile is 10 and 1. Yusuke and Kojin have, or sorry, not Kojin. Yusuke has not died.
Yeah.
Yusuke,
the
of
primary
all
roam,
people,
the deep roam, yeah.
Yusuke has not died. Bone will get the leadoff kill onto Tyrant. Not only is that your best player through 6 rounds, but it's your Legion. That is not the pick you wanted to go down first to the Zofia of Bone, and already the throne opening is coming out. This extension looks not to be long for this world, as the impact trick tries to come out, but it's only one. The next one will go down. Devil retreats with an impact still in his pocket, and he will go back to split and support Skins, who's been droned out. 1:20 on the clock. D2E have an opening pick. They have time on their side, and unless unless Wichita Wolves really buckle up, it's looking like a 7-0.
Yeah, right now they seem to be playing for the retake. A lot of players just kind of sitting in close proximity to site, not quite hard anchoring, as Devil actually has made his way fully in. The drone intel for Down to Earth is a little bit sluggish, but if you look at the top, their time management this round have been something better than what we saw the entirety of the half for Wichita Wolves. Still, there's a lot of anchors to deal with, but you have the man count advantage going forward. A little bit of chip damage here and there onto Yusuke and Bone is not a laughing matter, but it's not the end of the world so far. But one swing goes out, but it's a beautiful shot coming out of Yusuke. This is going to take out the Malusi Banshee, now silent as the night, trying to push in towards the bomb site. Devil still locking things down, but Anarchy falls at the hands of Navozo. That was your extension over towards Barrels. As now Faded knows there's somebody at the bottom of the yellow stairs, but will he get the shots off? Yes, he will. Goodbye, Yusuke. But the site control is into the hands of Down to Earth as Navozo takes down Devil. It's just Faded in a 1v4 situation as the first kill of his game came this round. He's going to have to get the ace to get it down as the diffuser's falling into the post-plant position.
Yep, this is a 7-0, and there we go. Down to earth with round number 7. The kills on WW, if you would like to look, are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all with 7 deaths.
Can we get one more Chrome Mauled counter, please?
So Wichita Wolves, I would like to remind everyone, they picked this map. Really thought you were going to do something, huh? Wichita Wolves has been a team for as long as I can remember. Certainly, since I started casting for the last year and a half or so, and I have never seen them play this poorly. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's some kind of inner turmoil in the team right now. Skins, you're Iski's replacement, dog. You gotta get a kill, please. I am begging you. The refrag potential, I don't think was there all map from Wichita Wolves. Nearly every one-on-one gunfight engagement they took, they lost, as you can see by the kill feed. It was what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 10 kills across 7 rounds. That is less than 2 kills per round average.
And that leads to the magic number of there was 3 defenders alive at all times.
Yep. Let's see. Flawless, 3 up, 3 up, 3 up, 4 up, 3 up, 4 up. So, Wichita Wolves, if you're going into the next map, don't be shocked. Hopefully their mental can still be recovered after getting 7-0'd on their own map pick. Of course, D2E did start defense, so you know, if anyone's going to be 7-0ing, it's whoever starts on the defense on this map. It's not... I feel like a 7-0 on the defense with your opponent starting defense is not as bad as a 7-0 with your opponent starting on attack. But either way, atrocious from Wichita Wolves, exemplary from D2E, and when you have one team on the low and one team riding high, you end up with a sweep. So D2E already with half the points they need to take first place. And it's been about half an hour. That is a 1 point per 10 minutes average.
Yep, and the stats are gonna tell the story that we were just saying as soon as they load in. They're slowly. There we go. Yusuke with a 2.0 rating.
Jeez, two players going 10-1.
Hey,
Skins had a 0% cost.
That's a rough day.
That's a lot of O's, and the only number he's actually got is a number you don't want to have. Yeah, see, 43210. Beautiful.
I mean, Exile Michael DM'd me before the game and said he was about to go demon time, and I guess this is Michael full on.
Exile has really been not happy with not only his play but the team's play in general over the last couple days. He said that yes, they may have been winning, but they could have done it way better, and done better they have. The lowest cost they have on the team is a 71%.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a lot to say about that map that we haven't already covered. I'm trying to milk it, but if I keep milking it, I'll just be sad.
You're gonna keep molding.
Hopefully Ferme tells us we can go to a break soon, because I need some painkillers, man.
Yeah, I think you're gonna go make noodles. You're about to go make some noodles in between cast, but at the end of the day, not a great showing from Wichita Wolves, but I'm really hoping that they can bounce around and bring it back on Kafe. For the side of Down to Earth, it really feels like they chose both of these maps, and because we know that they're good on Theme Park, we didn't know what Wichita Wolves had in the bag, but apparently it wasn't that great unless they're pulling their biggest G2 impersonation of trying to save strats on every map going into playoffs. But typically, when you limp into playoffs, that's where you can get upset really easily. You want to have your season kind of ramp up right before playoffs where you're at your top.
I just noticed Skins was not only 0-7, he was pulling a James Bond.
He was 007.
Friendly reminder that he was Twitch, Ash, and Malusi. Like, I hate to harp on the guy. I know he's a rookie, I think. But, like, Wichita Wolves picked you up for a reason. Must have been a pretty good one. You have Iski's shoes to fill, who was probably one of the best entries in the league at that point when he played, and you didn't even tag someone. Or maybe you did, but they weren't finished off. How do you go zero? I don't think I've ever seen a 0% cost. Maybe the stat is wrong, but I don't know. Again,
Bro,
I hate to harp on the
Let's
guy,
let it
right?
go.
I hate to harp on the guy. Like, I'm sure he's a great kid, or great guy. I assume he's over 18. I'm sure he's a great guy, but holy crap.
Yeah, I think the main thing is I'm gonna give a PSA towards chat that Iski is one of Crow's favorite players.
Oh yeah, we're
One of
both
his favorite players to cast.
named Harrison.
They're both named Harrison.
Yeah,
That's why
I
he
love
feels so
Iski.
emotional. But I mean, 4 skins, one. I said it earlier on that all eyes were going to be on him. Maybe he heard that and felt a little bit of the pressure. But now, I guess when the bar is all the way down inside of hell, it's going to be really easy for him to rise up above it. I'm hoping he comes out and just absolutely surprises us, because that'd be great. Imagine we saw a 7-0 for Wichita Wolves on Kafe.
That would be absolutely astounding, and I would go to sleep.
No, but we're supposed to watch Avatar.
Oh, you're right. All right, maybe I wouldn't go to sleep. Thatcher's the first ban. Wow, it's Kafe.
Yes, very surprising to see Thatcher falling.
Do you think?
Board.
Do you think it'll be Maverick?
Ace.
Maybe Ace. Ace or Maverick?
Maybe Ace. Maverick on
Watch,
Cafe,
you're gonna pull out like Capitao. Buck. What the hell? All right, so
see, that's interesting for me, because typically I think of Exile as playing the Buck on Cafe, where he's quite prolific.
Maybe Wichita Wolves do a hell of a lot more cocktail takes than D2E do. Because now it'll be a little bit harder. You're gonna have to rely on both Ash and Zoph doing their thing under cocktail if you want to go for that take. Plus, Buck tends to be a little bit. So this might be one of the reasons. So Kafe is an even more vertical destruction centric map than Theme Park, right? Buck and Sledge rule the bottom floor site and reading. D2E, despite the vertical destruction not being as prevalent on Theme Park, were still absolutely on point with their C4s. It is a hell of a lot harder to avoid C4s as a Sledge than a Buck. So those are the two thoughts going into this map with the Buck ban. One, easier to C4 the Sledge than it is a Buck. And two, maybe Wichita Wolves are really good with their cocktail takes, and D2E want to make that a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, especially because you see there's a couple of operators that slipped through the ban phase in the form of Pulse and Mira, who both have C4s, and when you can see people with mirror windows, you can C4 them, and we can see people from below with your cardiac sensor, that makes it even easier as well. But the Valk ban is not surprising on the defensive side by any stretch of the imagination, because Valk cams outside lead to highly aggressive play, especially on a map such as Cafe, where pretty much every single window is vaultable and exterior facing. So, you know, if you're sitting outside on your drone, you're not nearly as safe as you might think if you're on camera. You know, you're just going to have a Valk sitting upstairs inside a piano, go for a quick skydive, and then get a free kill while you can't even defend yourself. But that's neither here nor there, as Wichita Wolves will start breaking down their defense. They've elected to go downstairs to the kitchen bomb site. A lot of teams in sort of past lives and iterations of Cafe thought that the top floor bomb site of Cafe Bout, pardon me, why am I bar and cocktail? Bar and cocktail. I don't know why I was saying Cafe. That's the entire name of the map. But yes, that site, as we'll just say.
The Cafe site.
Yes, the Cafe site. That bomb site was stronger, but now a lot of teams with the implementation of deep roam setups and the ability to hold control on all 3 layers of this map have really realized that there's a lot more potential for fun strats downstairs in the kitchen.
Yeah. Kitchen is definitely coming to its own. And look at Wichita Wolves lineup. Smoke, Meister, Castle, Goyo, Jaeger. If this doesn't scream utility denial in this current meta, especially with a Wamai ban, I don't know what does. It's certainly going to be a slog for D2E, but that is already a successful entry as Yusuke just sprints down the red stairs and Anarchy gets caught lacking. Down goes Grant to Noah. And, okay, it's Castle. It's not a big deal. He's got his utility down. You're only using a UMP. But the fact that you already took off one of those roamers in a single minute, and now you have full control of the top 2 floors, as well as a sledge and breaching charges, those defenders on site could start sweating pretty soon.
Yeah, especially because the ceiling is going to be starting to rip down from above, and they're going to start being peeled back as the layers of the defense will slowly reveal themselves, and they're going to start feeling pressure. They're going to be removed from the power positions that they want to sit in because they're power positions for a reason, but they'll have to be vacated if they value their lives more so. And now the backside rotation hole that was opened up for flexibility of the Wichita Wolves defense is actually going to be under quite a lot of contention coming up, because it seems like Down to Earth want to use that as the really weak point in the Wichita Wolves defense, use that as their entry point without the need for a breach.
Down goes Skins' Goyo shield as he'll put himself back in the corner of VIP. Tyrant is there behind the Whiskey Barn. Kojin goes down. Skins, there you go. He'll get a kill. Swiftly traded out by Navozo, though. We're in a 4v3 with 45 seconds to go, but unfortunately the spam through the barricade as Bone takes it down will catch Devil trying to retreat into coat check. Faded and Tyrant now the last 2 defenders. They've got 3 smokes, they've got C4, and 30 seconds to burn. This is extremely doable, but if they get smothered by the attackers, if Down to Earth can just walk in and play for the refrags, they can still come away with the round. Here comes the freezer push, and unfortunately for the smoke, he will not pull the trigger, and Bone gets the second. Down to Earth take round number 1 with only a single kill coming from Wichita Wolves.
And it just seems to be the same rounds over and over again. This time, for Down to Earth, it's the dominance on the attacking side of a map that you might say is nearly neutral. It's a 4-2-3-3 kind of map, I would say, if you would agree. I think you do.
Yeah, 4-2-3-3. Yeah.
It just really depends on how exactly the teams are lining up and how the bans go, how whatever. But for the side of Down to Earth, it doesn't seem to be attacker-sided, defender-sided, whatever. This entire matchup has just been Down to Earth-sided, where they're just so much more structured. They're so much more confident. They're taking map control with relative ease, just pushing through with so much pressure that Wichita Wolves just doesn't seem to know what to do.
Well, it's gonna be reading now, not opting to go kitchen again. Even that round, D2E's vertical destruction was, I mean, it was decent. It wasn't like exemplary, but the fact that they just had that much time and they could set up in a 4v3 was real good. At the end, it was 4v2. They knew it. 2 people pushed from freezer. I think 1 went bake, 1 went carpet. And at that point, especially with the smoke losing his life, there was really nothing that the Goyo could do. Wichita Wolves obviously going to be setting up for their upstairs hold inside of Cocktail. They've still got Goyo, and they've got plenty. Instead of utility denial, they've kind of swapped off and gone for the drone denial. Ute Mozzie combo coming in full force, something that's become a lot more popular now with the nerfs of Wamai and Jaeger and the shields being taken away from a lot of the stable defenders. And of course, the Pulse from Devil will also be playing on the site in tandem with Faded, trying to get those C4 kills. They've got 4. If I don't see a single kill, C4 kill from Wichita Wolves, I'm gonna have a talk with Devil.
Yeah, I mean, the Pulse can essentially be the conductor of this entire round, where a lot of the fragging potential from that utility will directly run through him and his just steady comms and hopeful ability for Wichita Wolves to get something going, which just hasn't quite gone so far. This is 8 rounds in a row won for Down to Earth, spanning from last map. And it maybe the ball is just rolling too hard. It's all the way down the bottom of the mountain, hitting a flat plane with just so much momentum, velocity, and everything. But I mean, it's Siege at the end of the day, where anything can change in a moment's notice, and I never want to count any team out, but it still, once again, isn't looking great for Wichita Wolves. One Nitrocell will go out, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. Faded, picking up a free kill onto Yusuke, which is his first death of the series.
No, he was 10
Oh,
and
he
1
died
last
last round. He died the
Yeah,
final
that's his
round.
second death of the series. Fortunately for Exile, the other man with only 1 death will be able to evade the Nitro Cell, so Devils will not find its mark. So 2 Nitro Cells down, 2 to go. Anarchy and Tyrant still with, are still in their back pocket. Unfortunately for D2E, a minute 40 has gone down, and Wichita Wolves still has 2 players upstairs. It's been a lot slower from this attack so far. Anarchy and Skins can't be pressured from this cocktail window with the way they've been playing, and Tyrant with another Nitro Cell. Another one out, so no more C4s, but it's still 2 kills, and no! Bone misses all his shots on the rotating player by Laundry Hatch. A missed opportunity to be sure to try and bring things closer to equal, but now that D2E have the top floor, they can start actually mounting their push. Sledge is alive. You've got breaching charges on Bone. You'll have to try and make quick work of this floor to try and get these kills, and there we go. Down goes Anarchy, Exile with 1, looking for more, looking into Laundry, no one there. Most players either tucked all the way towards the back of Reading, with 1 in Dining. Tyrant can feel the pressure, he'll get 1 bullet on the Exile, but he'll evade that Sledge for now. There's a flank from Skins, he's already got 1 kill, already doing better than he was last map, as Tyrant will actually be flushed out outside of Reading. Long angle from the pillar doorway works for Bone, and there's another for Navozo as they're aware of the red stairs, or the brown stairs position. Mozzie will go down. It's just faded, and he can't make anything happen from 90. Down to Earth, though it took a long time for them to get cocktail control, get the rest of the 4 kills without losing a single body.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that was a flawless 3v5.
Yep.
And I'm going to take it the other way of not saying that Wichita Wolves threw their lead. I'm going to spin it into the way of that's how impactful vertical play and vertical control on Reading Room is that pretty much as soon as you get that top floor control, you can make anything happen. That's exactly what Exile and the rest of the remaining members of Down to Earth were able to do, showing off that they're not going to be any out of any round. They want this double 7-0. They are sending a message to every T3 team that they're the ones to be feared.
Yeah, that time, we can really say that the vertical play came in handy. That was impeccable from Exile and company. And then that push into pillars, even more well done. They had the crossfire from the pillar's doorway to catch. Who was that down the hallway? I don't remember who was down the hallway. And they had intel on the Jaeger. Unfortunately, Skins couldn't get his flank off. And they clutched up. Great job for Down to Earth. Like you said, a flawless 3v5 after losing the first 2 bodies. And in, what, a minute?
Yeah, it was something 50 like seconds when the first hammer hit the ground.
Yeah, and Wichita Wolves will continue playing the carousel of sites. Mining. Not Bar Cocktail just yet. They'll go to mining.
Really interesting to see. I haven't seen a mining setup since the mind of JJ Blastful brought it to T3 a couple of months ago, but since then it hasn't reared its ugly head until this very moment. Maybe everything is built up to this exact moment. This right here, this round of a mining and dining defense could be the turning point for the Wichita Wolves. But we don't quite know the answer to that question yet, as Down to Earth has already proved that once they get top floor control, they will absolutely punish your entire defense. And it seems like there's not as much resources allocated to the top floor as we once saw a couple of minutes ago.
D2E will be able to drone out Faded on white stairs. He'll fall back. Curiously enough, nobody on the top floor at all for Wichita Wolves. Usually on a mining defense, you at least have people playing around Cocktail just as like a distractionary measure to make sure Down to Earth can't walk into Reading for free, but they don't even have that. It's mostly either horizontal or, if anything, bottom up. As the train hatch goes down, Tyrant takes a hell of a lot of damage. He'll fall back over towards the 90 hallway as nades rain through as well. Yusuke holding the flank. And Down to Earth, although they have full control of the top floor, haven't really done much with the last half of the round.
Yeah, it seems like Wichita Wolves are going to be going for a retakes type strategy. I'm expecting to see a full retake of the top floor come out as soon as Down to Earth start trying to drop and put pressure in on site, and then all the angles opened up by Down to Earth will work both ways and be advantageous for the defenders. But considering there is a Nomad ready to lock it down, and it's Navozo, one of the best flank watches T3 has ever seen, that flank is going to be very difficult to achieve. Faded dropping all the way down. He hears the nade pull on the pin pull on the nade, as I'm fumbling over my words. But he'll have to drop it down as another nade comes through at the side of Kojin. No kills on that utility so far as he's spamming a wall, trying to get anything going. But it's just a full stall out tactic from both of these teams. Neither team are blinking, neither team are giving up ground. And the time ticking to the favor of defenders is slowly making it easier for Wichita Wolves.
Skins gets his second kill. There we go. Exile down, but there is a refrag as Tyrant has been finished off. Skins is also very low on HP. There's only 30 seconds left, and Faded has the footholds into mining, but no, Skins peeks. He gives up his position, and now Dining is in control of the attack. It is destructible from below. That's why they have Anarchy down there, but with the plant position being on the table, he'll have to arc the Nitro Cell up the hatch. No, it actually still hits Kojin on the table. That's the new shrapnel changes coming into full effect, but Yusuke is there for his third, on track for the ace. It's Faded Anarchy versus Yusuke and Bone will start the plant. Faded needs to come in from the fireplace. Yusuke's not looking the right way. It'll be denied, and the time will run out. Wichita Wolves, by the skin of their teeth, able to take round number 3 as Yusuke was looking the wrong way.
Really unfortunate as the flank didn't come in from an upstairs retake. It was just going through the other bomb site as the mobility of the Vigil and being able to bypass all of those flank drones placed in those wonderful positions on the side of Down to Earth. Weren't able to see him. He snuck up and just hit the only bullet of that round that mattered. The headshot onto the planting player as the clock was striking midnight. Really well played, really smart play by, I believe it was Faded, yes. My memory isn't that bad, I promise, but Faded, really good round is, I guess, my prediction coming through, that this could be the start of the comeback for Wichita Wolves. They are going to be going upstairs to the 3rd floor bomb site. They're just going to elect to stay down on the 2nd floor. It seems their rotation doesn't include the 3rd floor, where it is a bomb site that has been just tried and true on the side of the attacking front, where most team compositions know how to do a cocktail take or a bar take or clear piano like the back of their hand, because they've done it 50 million thousand times. So maybe that's what Wichita Wolves are going for. They're understanding that Down to Earth probably has a very strong 3rd floor attack, as indicated by their very strong attacks on every other bomb site, except I guess mining, because they haven't done it that often.
Yeah, I think that might have been D2E, especially with the way they were stalling out, just D2E not prepared to attack mining.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Well, Wichita Wolves with their first round of the series after losing 9 in a row. That's kind of the comeback you want. The mental was probably a bit shocked, but we'll see if it's enough to get them really back in the game, because that was well done. But considering the fact that they just lost 9 rounds in a freaking row, that was pretty damn well done. D2E were stalled out. Wichita Wolves had the plant denial. I cannot believe the C4 was able to kill Kojin from below like that.
Because it wasn't even like on him. It was really far against the wall. I really
thought Kojin was going to be safe on top of that table, but that denying the plant and Yusuke not looking at the fireplace was saved the round for them. So D2E, though, were very good attacking this site. It was sure a 3v5 when they lost the first 2 entries, but the recovery was absolutely insane, and Anarchy...
Whoa! Okay, Yusuke.
Anarchy was prone by the sofa and got droned out, and then Yusuke, just covering the default angle, catches Skins on the rotate, and we flipped the script. It's now a 5v3 in Down to Earth's favor.
Yeah, and the Sledge of Exile still alive. We've seen what he can do on this bomb site. He is having a little bit of an engagement over towards this just a long angle, but he's still going to get the kill. I was going to say he doesn't need to peek it, but if you get a free frag onto Tyrant, it's always going to be warmly welcomed, as Faded has made his way over to the white stairs, trying to line up a Nitro Cell toss, but there's nobody home on that side of the map. It's a 2v5 situation with the vertical pressure still alive. Exile needs to just rotate over towards the traditional ways of opening up. But, you know, they have a lot of time to play with and a lot of man count advantage to play with. Devil needs to get something going, and that's going to be mainly picking up onto Kojin, but a refrag from Faded onto Exile will be shut down as Navozo picks him up, and all of a sudden, it's all Devil.
1v3 for the IGL and captain of Wichita Wolves. No C4 in pocket, and Yusuke, what? He'll just drop the laundry hatch prone. We've seen so many players do that. We've seen Whitlock do that, and we'll see Yusuke do that. Down goes Devil. And Down to Earth take Reading Room a lot more dominantly than they did last time.
Yeah. And that is really worrying for me because Down to Earth's initial attacks were really strong. And typically how attacking teams, it's the adjustments of once you see something, like you see a defensive setup, that's where you're able to make your counter strats on the fly. And typically teams on primary and secondary bomb sites will win it their first time, then they'll struggle a lot harder on their second time. But it's kind of been the flip script of Down to Earth were dominant the first time on Reading, and they got even more dominant. Will that be the same story painted on Kitchen, where it was nearly a flawless round? I mean, I don't know how. I guess they could get the full flawless round instead of having 4 people left alive. You can have 5. That's an improvement that Down to Earth would like. But I mean, at the end of the day, a round win is still a round win, and the only thing that really impacts is your stats flashing up on your Twitter feed and your at the end of the game, I guess, when Ferme puts that beautiful graphic on that we get to dissect for a short amount of time. But it's also the end of the season, so more so than anything, they would want these points over their stats.
I also just noticed Yusuke is 8-1.
Yep, and he hit 2 heaters last round.
He did. He hit 3 heaters.
Yeah, that actually, yeah, I'm not gonna undersell that flick onto Anarchy as the opening.
That was pretty. That was a good Anarchy stood up, and I thought Yusuke was about to lose that fight, and then he just didn't. He didn't lose it. So that's a 2.0 KPR for those who are mathematically inept. You're welcome. So last time they attacked Kitchen, right? Wasn't too much going on with the vertical. I mean, Exile, of course, he had a couple holes that he just held for the to watch the rotates. Most of it was coming down to that horizontal pressure. Being able to clear VIP, being able to clear Whiskey, being able to clear Coat Check, most importantly, and be able to push to the site. They yet again have a single roamer on the middle floor. It's Skins. Last time it was Anarchy, and Anarchy got flushed out immediately. But Skins is looking like he doesn't want to put too much of a stake on the roam either. He'll already come down to VIP. Wichita Wolves know that Down to Earth's roam clear so far, with the exception of that one round on Reading, has been vicious. And they want as many bodies on the site for that execute as possible.
Yeah, and for the side of Down to Earth, they seem very comfortable under chaos with those final 20-second executes where there's a lot of compounding variables being thrown into the mix that they're still fine. They can simplify the equation and understand that, yes, X, Y, and Z are going to be held. We need to swing those in unison, and they've looked really, really structured. So even having that man count advantage towards the backside, if all 5 members of Down to Earth are alive in a 5v5 execute, I still want to give them the advantage towards that, even if time isn't in their favor. But with how easy the rest of the top floor roam clear has, because there hasn't been any pushback from Wichita Wolves this round, I think this horizontal is going to be just as strong. They already have a pinch going down from the brown stairs. Tyrant is not in a great spot. They're going to be pressuring from the window as well as the staircase, as now the rotate and the retreat from a couple of players is going to slowly be covered. Skins, that shield that he's clinging onto for dear life is going to be destroyed very soon because utility burn exists, and Ash is just waiting for one of these frag grenades to go through. Burning here as Bone is just making somebody completely blind. That Skins, he's getting shot from the back. He's stuck in a corner, and he's probably marked for death.
There is only 15 seconds left, however, but as I say that, Kojin gets one nade on a Skins, nearly another onto Tyrant, but he'll give up that Whiskey control. Unfortunately, Navozo won't be looking at the angle, and thus, Tyrant will be able to catch Bone off the rotate. 4v4 even man count now with 35 seconds left to go, and D2E don't have as much control as they did last time. They still have the vertical pressure of Exile, but now they have full purveyance of Whitehall. Yusuke moves into Freezer, looking for the entry. There's no one on the defense playing by the counter. Anarchy could come in for a flank, but Navozo catches Faded. Nomad's right on the other side of the bar, and Anarchy finds his back. There's a flank watch from Yusuke, though, but he'll lose it! Yusuke, you need to hit those! Exile gets Devil on the site, 10 seconds left, Tyrant 1 HP, and Kojin can go for the default, but Exile moving down red, he'll be caught, and it's all Kojin. He can catch Anarchy, but no! It's a 3K for the castle! Wichita Wolves take round number 5 because Anarchy was just never pinned down.
Yeah, that was Anarchy doing Anarchy things. Grant, a wonderful player, even with the worst gun on the defense in his hands, still able to win gunfight after gunfight after gunfight and slowly chip away at the lead of Down to Earth, making it a lot more manageable of a half. Because if they now win Fireplace and Mining, which they've done so before, they'll have that 3-3 split, which is not uncommon on Kafe.
It is mining. Now, mining typically is not the best site, right? It's when a team knows that they're going to be attacking mining, I think it's a little bit weaker. And now D2E expect that. However, the last time Wichita Wolves played it, granted, I will say it was very good. So, as long as they can keep that going, I think we can see a 3-3 half. If Down to Earth make the adjustment and clear the pulse from below, most importantly, it could be their round. But of course, we'll have to see that adaptation. I think if Down to Earth leave that pulse alive like they did last time, it's another easy win for Wichita.
I think also, I want to say that Nitro Cell is not going to kill 2 times in a row. I don't want to say it was lucky, but it kind of was.
But I feel like with Siege,
sometimes the game just says no.
Yeah. As a wise man, Gasher Keegan last name, once said, sometimes the game just says no, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah, sometimes I guess the game didn't want Down to Earth to plant, so they gifted Anarchy a free Nitro Cell kill that wasn't really lined up that well, and the elevation wasn't into his favor, but Down to Earth doesn't want to take that chance. They know that, yes, Anarchy on the pulse is going to be downstairs. Let's just go ahead and clear him early. He's going to have intel. He's going to know we're coming because of his cardiac sensor. But if we throw enough bodies at him, he has the UMP, for Christ's sake. We'll probably be able to take him out, considering how strong of a weapon the R4C is and how strong of a player Yusuke has been in this entire series.
And here's D2E with the adjustment that I was talking about. They now know, hey, that pulse last time, that sucked for us. It was real good for Wichita Wolves. So, let's kill him. The duo entry of Yusuke and Bone is certainly one to be feared. I wouldn't want to be going up against that. But, aha, Anarchy's upstairs now. So this entire clear that Down to Earth is doing, not really doing much. Kind of just wasting time and utility. And that's exactly what Wichita Wolves wants. Of course, the longer that D2E spends down there, the better it is for them. The less time D2E is going to have to attack that site. Minute 40 left in the round. Tyrant actually has holes watching down as well, but it seems like D2E's attack now, instead of clearing top floor and going dining, they want to try and make a stake through the mining window.
And I guess that's another adjustment coming out of Down to Earth, because I guess the vertical pressure is, you kind of only need one person up there, especially because Wichita Wolves doesn't seem to be bringing everybody in. Anarchy made his way back downstairs.
Yep.
Yep, he is.
Oh, wait, Yusuke's there.
Yusuke's there. As a wise caster once said, this is a game of chicken and mouse.
All right, man. Oh, wait, and there's one kill for Yusuke. Where was Devil?
I don't know.
All right, I don't know where Devil is, but Exile will be traded out. 4v4. You've lost your sledge, and Yusuke is on the hunt for your pulse. Now, I'm sure they're aware of that now. Oh, Devil dropped through the hatch and vaulted through the window. I'm sure the attackers are aware of that now, which is why Yusuke is still downstairs and not upstairs helping with the push. He's just waiting for Anarchy to come back in the kitchen. Anarchy is now inside of prep. He's playing Big Bake, but this is just an info position. He can't do anything with his C4 unless he runs out the front door and hawks a Nitro Cell up onto the balcony, but there's only 24 seconds left. The wall now open. Tyrant will shut down anybody vaulting, but there's Yusuke with the pick on the pulse. That is huge. Bone takes a little bit of damage, but he's still alive. He can watch this pillar's flank from the Legion, and down goes Skins. Navozo as well on a Tyrant. It's just faded, and he can't land the shot. Down to Earth, they take round number 6 after a brilliant adjustment.
That was a game of chess. That was poetry in motion, as
that was so suspenseful.
Yeah, that was. This game, it's been back and forth. This half of the series, I'll say, this game has been just a lot more contended as opposed to Theme Park. Theme Park, you couldn't really analyze it that much because it was just Down to Earth dominating at the highest level. But this game, there's been glimpses. There's been a glimmer of hope for Wichita Wolves, and it's really made Down to Earth actually have to show their stuff. They're having to use their brain. They're having to use their team synergy, which so far has just looked a lot more impressive from Wichita Wolves. That round was so close. Sure, the scoreline might not have shown because there was a lot more Down to Earth players left alive, but with the time going down, and it was just It was Down to Earth slowly setting up their execute, where they found a single string, a single loose thread on the giant knot that was the Wichita Wolves defense. As soon as they started tugging on it, everything fell apart.
Yeah, that downstairs. The fact that Yusuke was just sitting downstairs by bunk and just waiting was the round changer. Not only does he take out Devil, he also takes out the Pulse, and the rest of his team does the work for him. Excellent flank watch from Bone, waiting for Skins to push out, and the last two defenders stuck inside of Dining couldn't really do much because Fireplace, trying to push Fireplace against someone holding the angle is not fun.
No.
That sucks. And now, after we'll see Bar for the first time, as well as a Dokkaebi.
Well, I mean, Dokkaebi can open up hatches, but I mean, Anarchy's Hammer would have done the same. But I guess we can say that this is the first time we've seen a third floor defense, because that was not within Wichita Wolves' repertoire, as Down to Earth is going for a more down to earth and traditional hold of this bomb site, as we're going to see, surprise, surprise, there is a pixel shield that we're going to see Kojin holding on to for as long as he can. He can burn away time with those smoke canisters, but a lot of the rotations coming through. What a shot! Nevo!
Wow.
Well,
Good night,
that
David.
happened.
No more Dokkaebi, no more phone call, no more smokes. This angle from Exile could also find a kill if someone exposes themselves too much. There's a nade coming for the sledge, but it will not hit anything, and I don't think Devil saw the angle on that quick peek. So Exile will just stay. Good trigger discipline, not firing at the rotating player either. So that's a position we're going to have to come back to. We'll see if Exile is able to get a pick from it. Tyrant with a little bit of damage, but it's pretty negligible. So there's a minute and a half left in the round. Wichita Wolves have finally cleared Pixel. Great shot from Tyrant as well. Navozo inside of Freezer goes down. That's quite possibly a C4 off the board, though you've still got one in the back pocket of Yusuke. And Kojin, of course, with still 3 gas canisters playing inside a bathroom. Tyrant, though, he'll get the second. That tiny little angle, that sneaky little peek Exile had, it'll get found out, and thus he goes down to a headshot. Bone as well, low HP, but Devil was traded out by Yusuke. Now we're back to an even man count with a minute left in the round.
Yeah, and a minute left in the round with Kojin still controlling white. Yusuke's under siege inside of the freezer, but so is Bone inside the bomb site, as Anarchy's going to be able to pick him up, and it's a quick pre-fire coming through. As Skins picks up 2, catching out the pre-fire on the rotate of Kojin, marked him for death, and took another round. I guess that's why they picked up Skins. What a wonderful shot right there, showing his stuff, finally his power and prominence on the entry role of Ash is rearing its head indeed, and slowly, Wichita Wolves are getting back inside this game. That site take from Wichita Wolves on the 3rd floor was so dominant and looked so good. It was so textbook that I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that I think that they can come back in this game.
Maybe. It's definitely a lot closer on Kafe, which we love to see. Skins and Tyrant being the 2 players that really made a big difference in that round. You had, not only did you have Tyrant opening up the site, finding the pick into not only Freezer, but also down by the cocktail rotate. Those are 2 very important power positions for the defenders to play, and Tyrant just won his fights, and because of that, Anarchy was able to walk up long, he got a kill, Skins followed, and Skins got the last 2. Beautiful stuff from him. Glad to see Skins finally waking up as well, not to mention. And D2E will fall off of Bart. They'll go down to reading. Less of a stake upstairs. I imagine they figure, hey, if we just don't play as aggressive as we did last time, I think we can waste a lot more time. And without the site actually being on the top floor, that could definitely work to an even greater advantage.
Yeah, I thought for a second, because the execute was seeming to want to come down the white corridor, that Kojin was going to have a lot more of a role inside that round, but when you take site control by just sprinting in and shooting people in the back, it's not really necessary, and there really wasn't a whole lot the players inside a bathroom and freezer could do, because they were essentially locked up in a box, and it was shooting fish in a barrel for the Wichita Wolves attack. But now we're finally seeing Mira come out, as it seems Down to Earth are the ones that want to employ her first. Wichita Wolves had the opportunity to bring the Spaniard in on a map that she is actually very, very strong on due to the structure of the of all of the rooms with nice long lines of sight, making very powerful positions such as piano very, very difficult to overtake. And with just the strength and power of piano as a position and a room inside this entirety of the 3rd floor.
Oh!
Well, I mean, Navoso hit a shot last round, but he got hit with one right there. As it seems every single time I want to talk about something, somebody just decides I'm going to hit an absolutely nutty shot.
An absolute stinker.
And
and there's another. As Yusuke takes the head off a Devil on the rotate. That is ace dead. Yusuke will take a lot of damage. Faded looking for the trade. Can you do that? You can! Alright, Skins able to kind of open up a little bit better of a line into bathroom. Easier rotate in, not as exposed, but Yusuke, he sees the gun barrel, and no, the Zofia turns her back, but he can't find the kill! There's Skins for the cover. He's refragged there by Bone, but Skins actually found 2, and there's another as Tyrant is finished off, and they all line up for Bone! A 4K for the Jaeger as Down to Earth steal away round number 8!
I'm at a loss for words. And yeah, if you didn't see that flash up in the chat from Navoso, we here at SCS do have !Bone in the chat. And it's a wonderful copy pasta about one of the nuttiest players in the entire league. And he goes by the name of Bone. And that right there is why.
Okay.
I guess, was that an 100% absolute stinker rate for shots hit that game?
Perhaps.
That round?
Yeah,
100%.
So we had a beautiful shot from Tyrant, right?
Yes.
And then Yusuke doming the hell out of Devil through the wall. Then we had Yusuke seeing the barrel of Tyrant, and as Tyrant turns his back, he tries to spray in, but Skins not only gets him, but also the guy on white. So beautiful double kill from him.
That'll count as a stinker because of the double kill.
Because of the double kill. Because not only because it was a double kill, but because it was a double kill like in 2 opposite directions.
Yes.
And then, but as the Zofia was moving away and getting shot in the back, Bone killed her. Then Bone gets the second, and then Bone, the last 2 people are just like, hey, everyone's dying cocktail. Let's drop Skylight.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
It didn't work. News, that's a surprise. That's a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It didn't work. But that round right there being saved by Bone himself, doing his best Herculean efforts, will take Down to Earth almost to match point. A single more round into their favor will secure at least overtime, where they'll stay on the defensive side. But if it doesn't get that far, that means that the math dictated that it was a double 3-3 half. And that means, I guess, it's not attacker or defender sided. It's a little bit more of a coin flip, not really going into the favor of either team. But it doesn't seem like Down to Earth wants to die easy, and Wichita Wolves still have a lot of work to do, considering they haven't seen what's downstairs inside the kitchen bomb site yet, and that means Down to Earth definitely has the advantage, considering Wichita Wolves have had trouble with their timing, and that's going to be compounded by the fact that there's a clash.
This is also, if Down to Earth are bringing a clash on Kafe, you can bet your ass it's going to be Kojin, and the site is going to be Kitchen.
Yep.
This is something they do a lot. Kojin will do one of 2 things. Play kind of by red and carpet and play in the hallway, or tuck himself into the site and try to avoid the attackers upstairs clearing. Of course, Bone and Exile will do their best to hold inside of Dining. That is... wow. Alright, that was almost the head being taken off by both those players, but they're able to get away scot-free. Bone takes some damage, but it's not a kill for Wichita Wolves. It's a minute and a half off the round. They do now have reading control, though. They can start getting that vertical destruction down onto the kitchen site.
Yeah, I think overall, the clash can be taken out pretty easily if he had...
What?
Oh, well, yep, Yusuke. He was hiding in a Christmas tree and got hand-delivered the present that is the diffuser and Devil, their only hard breach.
Did he fully open? Was he able to get the second...
Yeah, he got the second Selma. He shot it. No, he didn't. But Nevo shot Tyrant as now the dominoes keep on falling for the side of the down-to-earth defense. An attempted nade kill onto Yusuke will not do any damage, but he's being pinched from brown stairs as well as white. Putting on the Vigil Cloak once again, he's going to be in a nice position, but Skin's not in that great of one either. He'll be put into a body bag by Exile. Now it's just Anarchy and Faded, the Dokkaebi and Sledge, and the Dokkaebi's gonna be solo pushing her Korean teammate, and that's gonna be a drop down, another frag for Yusuke, leaving it all up to Anarchy in a 1v5.
You think he wins it?
I love Grant, but I don't think so.
Yeah. 3 kills for Yusuke. Two of them being from behind the same Christmas tree. And a flawless round.
I had a gut feeling because Henry, our observer, switched to that drone that had vigil squiggles on it. I go, there's no way he's in that corner, right? There's no way they're gonna fall for this, and they did.
And they did.
They did.
They did. And then they fell for it again. And then Yusuke pushed out in a restaurant and killed the last guy. Everyone in that round on Wichita Wolves that died pushing Yusuke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
First death was straight up just Devil just not knowing. Second death was the refrag attempt. Third death was Skins trying to come in from brown stairs and pinch with Faded, but he got killed by Exile holding whiskey. And then the last 2 players also died pushing Yusuke. Yusuke now has 15 kills, by the way. He is now on a whopping 3.75 KD. And that is absolutely insane. And we're also looking at a
15 divided by 9.
1.66 KPR.
Yes. Ratios.
Yep, because 15 over 9 reduces to 5 over 3, which is 1 2/3.
Yeah, and that's 1
quick math
plus 2/3, which is 0.67. So, you add them together, and that's how math works.
0.66 infinitum, though you typically round to 7 at some point, depending on your significant figures.
Yes, sig figs.
We
need to tutor. We need to tutor T3 in academics.
Dude, I'll do it. I already or not Exile. Exo asked me for Calc 1 help.
Oh yeah, I can do Calc 1 help too.
Calc 1.
What are we gonna?
Except Riemann sums. Fuck Riemann sums.
I don't mind them. They're not bad. They're boring. They're not bad. When you get to the higher level, like differential equations and how you can integrate like the surface area of 3-dimensional curves, that's fun. Even though it's really complex. But we're nerding out here, and let's get back to the game because Down to Earth is on. Match point, series point, take first place point as one frag grenade will go in, and Kojin is just I've never seen more panic in a player than right there as Anarchy just dropped a frag grenade at his feet that was perfectly cooked. That would even do Gordon Ramsay prep.
Call him the chef. Was it? The nade was well done.
It was a perfect medium rare.
Is that what we're going? Because I was gonna say because it's like because the nade was like fully cooked, and that's like well done.
No, it was perfectly cooked.
I see.
Because it landed at his feet, and it was like another second just for him to sit in fear.
I see. All right.
Because
we can call that medium rare. Medium rare is good. There's a minute and a half left in this round. You've lost smoke. That's a big pick, but you're about to lose your ace. No, Devil not aware of his own angle, and Navozo playing it inside of the White Hall, looking through the bathroom doorway. Still a mirror window by back Freezer for the attackers to deal with as well. This could be detrimental, but Faded with a good kill onto Navozo will bring the man count back in his team's favor, but there's a C4 from Yusuke, downing Skins and then finishing him off. 3-3. 1 minute left. Still, the mirror window not being dealt with, and that could be the round changer. But Anarchy plays a little bit too close, and sorry, it was Yusuke playing a little bit too close. Anarchy with the kill, and Exile getting the trade, and now it's Tyrant and Faded versus Bone and Exile. No C4. This is going to come down wholly to gunfights between these last 4 players.
Yeah, the stage is set for this potential final round as Exile is going for a flank on the white stairs. He knows that somebody's over by these pallets, but he runs out of ammo. But as a refrag here and there, as Bone's going to drop him off, the dominant player that we saw just a couple of rounds ago, the demon of the top floor, now going up against the F2 of Faded, who doesn't have diffuser. It seems like Bone has just disappeared, but he's right behind Faded. Picks up a free kill, says GG's in chat, takes the entire series for Down to Earth in dominant fashion, 7-0 and 7-3.
And the final round, of course, the final round of the series is also the closest round of the series. The only round in the entire 17 of them to come down to a 1v1. How poetic is that?
I'll give it a Dr. Seuss.
It's not Shel Silverstein level?
No, not it's not the where the sidewalk ends level.
We can call that maybe a Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, bit of a Robert Frost. Perhaps even a Thoreau.
Do we want to give it the poetic level of a Carter Hainfeld tweet?
Yeah, Carter's a regular Kipling, I'm telling you. I'm sorry,
But,
I hate poetry with a passion, and I just.
How many of those books on your shelf are poetry books?
None of them, because I hate poetry. I just know poets because I don't know.
I had the
like
feeling
literature.
that you knew that there were no poetry books and you still looked behind you just for dramatic.
Of course, dude. I had to play into the bit. So 7-0-7-3, a 14-3 final scoreline for D2E. Our predictions were right, because of course, we know. Get fucked.
Hey, I have the highest number. I had 75% before this.
That's true. I do not, because I did not think Redux was going to troll, and thus they did. So, all in all, my takeaway from that match was Wichita Wolves, for the majority of it, did not look like themselves. According to other sources, they have not looked like themselves for a little bit, and I really hope they find their role again. But that's not to take anything away from D2E. D2E played that they played it perfectly on Theme Park, almost perfectly on Kafe. Everybody on the squad having above a 1.0 rating, with the exception of Kojin, who went 1-8, but, that's not his job. When you've got people like Yusuke and Bone going double digits, you don't really need to. I'm glad Skins stepped up too. Skins doing not phenomenal, but a hell of a lot better than he did on Theme Park. He actually had, his 6 kills as well.
They were all impactful kills.
Yeah, the vast majority of his kills were impactful. So good job, Skins. Tyrant and Anarchy as well, definitely waking up. But Wichita Wolves in the end just couldn't make it happen. D2E looked like the better team throughout pretty much every round.
Yeah, I mean, just the numbers don't lie. Kojin not having a great game, but that's why he got thrown on the Clash. He wasn't shooting back, so why not just shoot electricity and slow people down? Even though it wasn't really that necessary. But just really well played by Down2Earth, and I don't want to diminish their really great result by saying oh no, it's just because Wichita Wolves didn't play good. No, it was because Down2Earth played insanely well. And speaking of Down2Earth, we do have an interview coming up, and surprise, surprise, it's Exile.
Hi, Exile. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Michael. I like that.
I just can't. Oh, I hear you now.
Oh, we can't.
All right, you can hear us now?
Yeah, thank you for liking my hat. I like it too.
I can't hear him.
It's a pretty cool hat. I hear Crow and I hear Connor.
No, that's unfortunate.
I hear Exile. That is unfortunate. Oh, it's because you're in the RTMP feed. You're not in the VMix feed anymore.
No, I'm still in the VMix feed. Oh, we can now Michael speak.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. I can hear your beautiful voice.
What's up, Harrison?
What's up? No. 14-3. Did you expect?
Yeah.
I know. You've been coming into the Jazz Chord vocal on Twitter. You haven't been too happy with how your team's been playing. You've been winning, but I know you've been vocalizing that you guys could have definitely been winning better. Do you think those problems have been fixed?
They looked fixed today, but that's just one game day that we've seen. I mean, I'm just happy our fraggers are fragging today. So.
Especially you, Yusuke, and Bone.
Yeah, he sucks pretty good.
So Theme Park.
Yes,
you guys haven't had the best history on Theme Park, especially in RSA, but you come in and you 7-0 Wichita Wolves on their map pick. Has that been something that you guys have definitely been practicing?
No. We expected them to pick Villa, but they banned Villa. So we were like, okay, well, we haven't been practicing Theme Park since we lost to PogChamp, to be honest with you. And we just went in there and we just played it. 7-0.
Yeah. You guys definitely looked really good. Something that C-Dubs and I were definitely really curious about was your hold of throne. Why do that extension with the alibi and the Ella inside of maintenance?
To be frank with you, Harrison, I just don't know. I joined the team when that strat was a thing, so I just do it. You could ask, Nevo would be the person to ask. I saw it Pro League a couple times with extended the maintenance. What they're trying to do is just trying to delay the dragon push. Take top control. All that jazz.
Is there also a reason why, with the Thatcher Maverick ban, why you guys weren't running the Kali, despite Bone being a very good Kali player?
Well, Bone's not on Kali anymore. He's on Zoe. So I would be the Kali player, and I'm a good Kali player.
I see.
But we felt like we didn't need the Kali for the way we were going to attack them, and we didn't, obviously, because we 7-0'd them.
Yeah, your one attack of Lab went pretty. You killed the guy upstairs, killed the guy throne, and then it was just kind of over. And then Kafe being a map that you famously beat Aerial Arise on in the series you won against them, and a map that you've been really historically pretty damn good at. Did you, first of all, expect them to go mining that first time?
No. Well, right. Dash is going to be mad at me because he has like a spreadsheet with everything they're going to do, and the mining defense was right there after we lost that round. And I was like, oh, hey, guys, they go mining. Dash did that for us. And so, yeah, but we didn't expect it the first time. I think that's kind of why we lost it. So.
Yeah. Especially with the plant denial from below that I really didn't think was going to kill Kojin because he was on the table.
And neither did I, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the shrapnel changes were definitely a little bit weird. Oh, Ferme has the stats for us. Cool.
Can you see the stats?
Yes.
You can. Cool.
I'm looking at Kojin's 4-11.
Well, yeah,
I did.
Kojin, Kojin went 3-3 map 1 and then 1-8. But he was doing okay. Yusuke.
He was doing his job. That's what matters.
That's true. He was doing his job. And Yusuke. Do you think Yusuke was doing his job?
Yes. I do think he was doing his job. I'm gonna be honest again. It's been a while since he's been able to do his job, but he did his job today, so I'm proud of him.
He did. Yeah. We noticed, in the last couple games, despite you guys winning, Yusuke was suffering a lot of opening picks, or suffering a lot of opening deaths. So it was definitely nice to see him, being able to play like we know him to be able to play. So you guys,
of course,
take first place, and now, no matter what. Even if Team 99 win both their maps and take first place away from you, you finish, I believe, at minimum, second. So you guys get a first round bye, and you get automatic closed qual for Season 5 if you guys don't make it to Grand Final. But honestly, with the way you guys are playing, I would assume you guys are going to make it to the Grand Final. Let me ask you, who, out of all the teams in the top 6, who do you guys want to see in your first semifinal?
In our first semifinal?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe like Emergence or something. I don't know who's in playoffs. Is it like Emergence, Pride, 99 Wichita, and then us, and then well, then, I guess.
Oh, Redux.
Yeah. Redux.
Frog Champ.
Yeah,
okay. I don't want them in semis. I love all the players. I don't want them in semis. Pride, maybe. Emergence, sure, because they're just not that great. And then same with 99, but that's just my opinion.
I see.
I prefer Pride or Emergence, though, because 99 is a fresh team with a lot of ranked stars.
True. That's true. Connor, do you have any other burning questions?
I mean, Crow, we all know how you do interviews. If I thought of something, then you thought of a tier 5 vocabulary version of it. So I have absolutely nothing, but I do want to say I love you, Michael. Really great work.
I love you too, Connor.
Absolute pleasure to watch, and I'm sure you guys are walking home with your heads held high, patiently waiting the game tomorrow to see if you'll get first or second seed. But at least you'll need to chill out until semifinals. So I guess we'll see you back then.
It's like my smile.
Yes. We love your smile, Michael. Ah, he's gone. All
Some
right.
say you can still hear his voice.
And Connor, with that, we're done. That's it.
Got the feed.
That's our one game. I can't hear you.
Huh?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, we just instantly cut the feed as soon as you say, and
yeah, ready?
we're done.
And
we're
that's
just
it.
done.
Cut
It's
to black.
just cut to black, fade to black.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, we only had one game today. We have one game today, one game tomorrow. What time? Wait, what time is it? 6 p.m. tomorrow, or is it?
It
later?
should be 6 p.m. Oh, it's
it
the
is
late
late,
game. I'm
so
incorrect.
it's 8:30. All right. So game tomorrow: Pride versus Team 99. The new look Pride with Crafty and Salt. Crafty being absolutely tremendous so far. Shout out to him. And Team 99, a newly refreshed ex-Lycus with, like Michael said, a lot of ranked starts. That should be a pretty cool game. Both teams in the top 6. I think Pride actually has the opportunity to take 3rd.
Yes. There's something still a lot of different places. Like, if Pride full win, then they can go up to 3rd, and the 99 drops, and Wichita Wolves stay in 2nd. It's just a whole thing. It's a spider web, and I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I'm glad you liked that one, bro. But yes, it's the end of the game, and thank you so much for everybody that stopped by, tuned in, and got to watch 2 wonderful games. And we'll see you guys back tomorrow.